Yo, what is going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for clicking on today's video. As you can see, more iRacing content from me. Absolutely loving this game right now. We're in the Formula Vee at Summit Point, so you know it's going to be a spicy race ahead of us here. So as we're on the grid, P6, 127.3 in quali, not terrible, but here we are. We want to get into the podium positions, of course. So as we line up on the grid, waiting for the lights to go out, and as you can see, we get a really good start compared to the guy in front of us. That's John Miller in the green car. And we also have Kubota right alongside us in the Coca-Cola livery. And we have such a good start that we actually pass Miller. So that is a net P5 already, one position gained heading into T1. Let's see what happens in the first corner. Kubota is defending his line on the inside. We actually brake early to secure the position and take it easy into turn one. But we take a wider line, but we actually pass Ben Ahmed on the inside. So that is 2 positions gained in the first corner, which gives us net P4 in the race. So an unbelievable start from us as we tuck in behind Kubota heading into Wagon Bend. Let's quickly look at a replay of that amazing race start. We got, look at the traction off the line. Miller just could not compete. And we make the easy pass down the middle of the circuit. And it's a race down into T1. And Miller really could not do anything. He holds the outside, but we do get ahead of him and take the outside line back. And we do take it quite wide to give the cars inside a little bit of breathing room. But as you can see, the Bullet Bill car does not have enough grip. And that's Ahmed. And he cannot keep us behind him. So we do take the outside line, but do get 2 positions there into turn 1, into P4 for the first corner, and that is a pretty amazing start if you ask me. Heading into Wagon Bend, we do keep the position, so we are comfortably now in P4. Now we head into sector 2 of the circuit, which is the most technical and tricky part of the track. As you can see, we're gaining on the cars ahead of us. That's Kuzmichev on the left there and Kubota on the right, and as you can see, there's a hard braking zone, and Kuzmichev brakes really hard, but we cannot find a way around him, so he holds the inside line. And now we're entering the slow right-hander of the carousel, and as you can see, there's a little bit of an incident, and one car is spun round. That is Kubota in the Coca-Cola car. I do not know what happened there, but his race has been ruined. Let's jump on board with the replay here with Kubota. What happens? He loses grip around the corner, and then he gets hit by Kuzmichev. There seems to be some contact there between the 2 cars. Let's jump on board here and see what happens. Do they touch wheels? It looks like it, but upon further inspection, those wheels do not touch. So it seems to be a bit of an error, and Kuzmichev just goes through into P1. So I do not know what happened there, but it looks like Kubota's race has been ruined as Kuzmichev takes P1, and that is Rodriguez in P2, and he seems to try and fish it round the outside into the fast right-handed. He has the inside line. Let's see what's going to happen here. We are closing in on these 2 cars, and as we take the corner, it looks like Rodriguez is going to take back P1. So that is a very active part of the circuit here, and as you can see, Kuzmichev is weaving down the straight, looking for some slipstream action there, and as you can see, he does edge out Rodriguez into the first turn. So it looks like we're going to have a new leader of this race, but we are gaining on these cars with the slipstream, and it looks like we're going to stick with P3 here. But it actually looks like the inside line is going to pay dividends for Rodriguez as we actually go wide onto the gravel, and that is going to allow John Miller to get the position back. He was gaining on us down the straight, and it looks like that mistake has cost us a position down to P4. Miller tucks in behind Kuzmichev, and we are back to P4 where we are on lap 1. So that is not ideal from us. That small mistake costing us a position, but it looks like we are keeping pace with these cars, and it looks like it's going to be a tricky pass here. Let's see what we can do. We go round the outside, now onto the inside for the left-hander. Are we going to stick it? We go down the inside, we stick our nose into the inside of the corner, but Miller has more speed into the corner. We slowed down way too much there to do the pass, and it looks like we're going to be stuck in P4 as we approach through the S's here on the second half of the lap, and it looks like we're just going to have to find our pace, tuck in behind these cars, and see if we can make a pass down T1 on the home straight. Let's see what happens here. Looks like we're gaining a good amount. We get a good exit there through the S's, and now it is a sprint down to the fast right-hander onto the home straight. Let's see what we can do here. Looks like we take a decent line. It looks like Miller had a very bad corner there. He slowed down a lot more than he had to. And now with the slipstream, we should be able to catch up to the cars. And if we don't get Miller here, it looks like we're not going to be in a great position. We're already on lap 3. So let's see what happens. Miller takes a very wide line onto the inside of the track. He passes Rodriguez, who gets sandwiched in between Miller and Kuzmichev. Let's see what happens. 3 wide into turn 1. We brake early, and it looks like Kuzmichev has outbroken himself through the corner, and that gives us free access to P3. It looks like he's carried way too much speed into that corner, and it looks like Miller has had a bad exit. And also Rodriguez, we have unbelievable pace into the left-hander. Let's see what happens into Wagons Bend. We take the outside line, but it looks like Rodriguez is going to stick that corner. But an unbelievable performance. As we hop on to the replay here, we can see that Kuzmichev just absolutely outbreaks himself here, and he ends up on the gravel, and he is going to lose a few places for sure. So that is very unfortunate for Kuzmichev. He was looking good throughout this race, but now he's back into P6, P7, but hopping back on board with the live race with our POV. And as you can see, Miller is taking the outside line, but now we actually have the inside line for this corner. But now we go back to the outside. Let's see what happens. Miller has the inside line. We give him space, and it looks like we're trying to switch back here. Let's see if we can get traction out the corner, but Miller defends wisely. That is great racing from both me and Miller there as we head through the S's into the second half of the track. And let's see what traction we can get out of these corners. It looks like he's going a bit wide, and he's not carrying too much speed, so we should have a good run down into the last corner. And as you can see, look at the speed we have. He cannot compete with our speed right now as we tuck into his gearbox. Let's see what happens. He pushes down to the inside for the right-hander. So let's see what happens. Let's see if we can find our way. We try, but we cannot, and we have to brake, unfortunately. So Miller is going to hold on to P2, but that is P3, and we're already on lap 4 of the race. So that's almost halfway now, and we're looking good. We're already in the podium places, and we're looking very, very nice here as we gain speed down the home straight, using the slipstream of Miller to our advantage. And let's see what happens into T1. He goes defensive and takes it shades to the inside, so we have no option but to ease off the throttle and take it easy. We do a bit of a wide turn there, but so does Miller. So let's see what happens as we approach Wagon Bend. But look what happens. Shi Chen, we have not heard from him this race yet, but he has great traction out the corner, and we unfortunately lose a place there to him, and we cannot do much but concede to Chen, and he is now into P3. So that is not great from us. It looks like we did not anticipate him coming, so we have to tuck behind him, and again we're back to the P4 slot. So we're gaining and we're losing, we're gaining, we're losing. So let's see what happens. It looks like Miller has a bad entry into the corner, and Chen might be able to jump him here. Let's see what happens as we go into the right-hander, but it looks like Miller will stay ahead, and Rodriguez is pulling away out in P1. We cannot let him get away, so hopefully the boys in front of me can give me a bit of a tow down the straight, because if Rodriguez gets away, that is our chances of winning this race pretty much over. So going into the last corner into Paddock Bend, we really need the slipstream of Chen here. So hopefully Miller can regain the slipstream of Rodriguez in first place, and then we can catch up and rebunch up the group. But let's see, we take a good exit here, and it looks like we can maintain a good minimum speed there. So hopefully now we are pretty far away from Chen there, but hopefully we can gain some ground into the first turn. I think we're going to be braking a little bit later here to make up some of the lost ground. Let's see what happens. Chen and Rodriguez and Miller. Oh, but Chen goes very aggressive into the inside. Let's see what happens. Oh my goodness, Miller has to field the position, and that is actually a very ballsy move by Chen there. Very good racing. I don't think that that was malicious in any way. Just a great entry into the first corner, but it looks like Miller is wanting that position back. He is not happy with the position he just lost, so let's see what happens. But he has a bad entry into the fast left-hander, so that gives us the opportunity to come back at him maybe here. We get a good run, and the slipstream is very strong around here, as you know. So let's see what happens here into the corner, and it looks like Chen is going to hold on to Miller too, but we get a good run here. Let's see what happens. If we keep our speed up through these corners in the S's, maybe, just maybe, we can get a run on him into Paddock Bend. But let's see what happens here. It looks like we're taking a bit more of an optimal line than Miller. It looks like the pressure from us gaining on him is getting to him, and he is not racing ideally right now. And maybe, just maybe, we can get a run here into the final corner. Let's see what happens. It looks like his speed is just enough to not allow us to catch up to him, so we have to concede and unfortunately wait onto the home straight. But let's see what happens here. We get a better exit, it looks like, on to the curbing, and let's see, the slipstream is going to be very strong. He pulls out to the right to follow Chen, and it looks like Chen might be under pressure here. Miller darts back to the left-hand side of the screen. We're going to follow him, and let's see, Chen, it looks like Miller has got in front, and it looks like we're going to be right next to Chen here, and he's going to go very defensive to the inside. He's going to lose a lot of speed. If we can thread it round the outside, maybe we can get more traction than him out the corner. We go wide with Miller, and it looks like Chen is going to be pushing us wide here a little bit, holding our line into the middle of the track, and it looks like we're gaining. Chen, oh my goodness, Chen just absolutely, what just happened there? It looks like he touched wheels. I don't know how we didn't crash. Let's jump on board with the replay here and see what just happened. It looks like Chen hit one of our rear wheels, but let's see. He moves over to the left-hand side. As you can see, we're not moving, and then he just crashes us. And I do not know how no one incurred any damage there. As you can see, his rear wheel, he just bumps into us, and we somehow avoid any damage there. I just don't know how that's possible, but both drivers come away unharmed. Obviously, we do lose some time there to Chen, but I am just glad that my race was not ruined there, because stuff like that can easily take both drivers out. So it looks like we have some time to make up here, but we're not too far behind, which is very, very lucky for us indeed. So we're taking it into the S's here, and we're just looking to have a really tidy section here to try and gain some of that time we lost back. And as you can see on the bottom left, we're actually nearing the end of this race. It looks like there's only 2 to 3 laps left, so there's not a lot of time. The accident actually happened at a pretty unfortunate time there. So we really need to get our head down and focus up to try and not let Rodriguez and Miller ahead of us get away, because that is not going to be a recipe for us to win this race. So let's see what happens here into the final quarter. We need a really good exit here. Chen goes a little bit wide onto the gravel, but it looks like he didn't lose too much speed for that, and we go a bit wide too, so that is not ideal. Hopefully the slipstream can give us some boost and make up for that bad corner there. Let's see what happens. We're gaining a little bit, but not enough to make the pass into T1, so I think we're going to have to play it a little bit safe and not get too aggressive here. So we take the outside line and tuck in behind Chen here, but it looks like Miller has passed Rodriguez, but he might get the switch back here. That is great racing up ahead of us. Let's see if they slow down because of it. They probably lost some time there as they were fighting each other, so that actually benefits Chen and myself here, and we get a really good run here onto the car in front. Let's see what happens into the left-hander. We have to not get too aggressive into there. We're going to live to fight another day, and that's what I've learned in iRacing so far. Sometimes you just have to concede the corner and fight for the next straight, fight for the next quarter, you know. So here we are into the hard braking zone, into the tight left-hander, and it looks like we're bunching up again, so this is actually perfect for us. We are back in contention, and P1 is still on the cards for us, so this is really good. Through the S's here, we really need Rodriguez and Miller to keep this pace and not get too far ahead of us. So my goal here was really just to be as tidy and efficient as possible, not to lose too much speed, not scrub any speed on the corners, and just really try and focus to get back into the gearbox of Chen up ahead. But as you can see, we're gaining a lot of time, and we seem to be too far back for slipstream, but it doesn't matter. It looks like the cars in front are slowing each other down so much that we're getting a really good run here into the home straight, and it looks like cars are weaving left and right ahead of us, trying to get out of each other's slipstream, but we are going to follow Chen, and that's Miller on the left-hand side, Rodriguez on the right, but Chen is inserting himself into the middle of the pack, and it looks like it's going to be free wide into turn 1. Let's see what happens. It could be a catastrophic accident, but it looks like Chen is going to concede, and that's Miller in the green car, edging out Rodriguez, but it looks like he went a little bit too wide, and Rodriguez should have a run here, but Chen and myself, oh my goodness, this is exciting. We're actually going on the inside. We passed Chen. It looks like he lost a lot of speed there, and that's Rodriguez right ahead of us, and it looks like Miller is going to take provisional pole into the S's section here, but Rodriguez is fighting hard, and we're going to actually choose to go behind Rodriguez here, and Miller is not on the ideal racing line, so let's see what happens. Rodriguez has the inside for the hard left-hander, and it looks like that is going to pay off for him as Miller loses the place to Diogo Rodriguez, but actually he's going to gain it right back, and oh my god, Rodriguez is getting pushed wide, and Miller's losing speed. Oh my, we could have we saw the light, but Miller just shut that tunnel down, so it looks like we're going to be P3. It could have been, that could have been the corner, but it looks like we're going to get a good run here in to Paddock Bend, and Rodriguez, we need this slipstream badly, and it looks like we're going to get it as we're gaining a little bit to the front 2 cars, heading into the last corner. We're getting a good exit, not too bad there, and we're not losing speed, so let's see what happens. This is probably the penultimate lap. Actually, I think this is the final lap, and it looks like Miller is actually going to go onto the grass. He's going to lose speed, and Rodriguez, and we're doing what Chen did identically last lap. We're going down the middle of both of these cars, and Miller is very, very slow, so it's going to be me and Rodriguez into turn 1. I have outside, he has inside. Let's see what happens. We're going to leave him enough space. We almost touch wheels, and we're going to go around the outside, and that, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be P1 on the last lap of this race. What a great performance there. I did not think we were going to be able to hold it. We left him enough space, and we made the move, so we are going to go into this amazing move, pulling up the replay, and as you can see, Chen was actually gaining on us behind, but We're going to stick it down the middle, taking a page out of Chen's playbook from the lap before, and we're just going to try and feed ourselves into the middle of Rodriguez and Miller, and it looks like Miller's just losing so much speed there, so it's really only me and Rodriguez into the corner. Miller tucks in behind me, and as you can see, we just carry so much more speed. I think Rodriguez took too much of the curb there, and he lost a bit of stability in the car. So yeah, jumping back on board on the last lap, we have finally cracked the P1 position. We finally got in there, and all we need to do now is calmly and efficiently navigate through the S section, and we should secure this win. And as you can see, we're taking it very cautiously. My heart was racing during this part because I knew how hard I'd worked throughout the race, and finally we got the benefit of it. And yeah, so as you can see, nice and tidy through here through the S's, and oh my goodness, there's only 2 corners left of this race, and that is going to be P1 secured. An unbelievable race from us, and as I mentioned before, this was probably my best performance in iRacing so far, and it's really just amazing racing. I think for the most part it was clean all the way through, no bad incidents, and as you can see, rounding the final corner, and that is going to be P1 for us after an exhilarating race around Summit Point. And yeah, I just was unbelievably over the moon, and yeah, I hope you did enjoy that race. It was definitely my best race so far, and yeah, it just gets me really excited to have more races like that. And yeah, as you can see, man, we're going to pull up the results here. As you can see, P1, we gained so much safety rating. Look at that, 0.6. That is amazing. And yeah, as you can see, there's the rest of the grid. But yeah, I hope you did enjoy this video. It was an unbelievably fun one to make and obviously to race. So yeah, leave a like if you did enjoy. I'll see you in the next one. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Peace.